and Joshua Williamson from like Flash and Batman. I'd like to see what would happen there.
Yeah, I know. I'd like a change in some books. Although some of these guys say they got like plans for 100 issues. I saw Tomasi say it, and I saw Tom King say it. So I'm like, oh boy, that's like another 2 years.
That's painful.
All right, here we go. All right, we are back, guys. This is book section number 1, and we're going to kick it off with Iron Fist number 73. It's so weird to say these big numbers out of nowhere when we just really left like number 6 or whatever it was.
7. It went from 7 to 73. Weird.
So,
you know what? Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Iron Fist. I do like those headers, and I like the corner box art.
Yeah, me too.
And I like that they got Mike McCone to do all of the corner box art. So that's pretty cool. So, so we're gonna start off with the creative team. We got Ed Brisson writing. We got Mike Perkins on art. We got Andy Troy on colors, and VC's Travis Lanham on letters, and the fantastic covers by Jeff DeCal, I guess. Decal, whatever.
Yeah, Decal, I guess. So VC stands for virtual calligraphy. I looked it up this week because I was super curious.
Really? Yeah. That makes sense. Virtual, they have their own letter studio.
Yeah.
So Sabretooth Round 2, Part 1. Sabretooth first lashed his way into pages of Marvel Comics back in Iron Fist number 14 in 1975 and never looked back. But now Danny Rand, the legendary Iron Fist, has a problem only Sabretooth can help him solve. Something is threatening the very existence of Kun Lun, and the Iron Fist must do whatever he can to protect it, even if it means convincing his old enemy to fight by his side. Will mutant claws and crane kicks be enough to save Kun Lun? Who knows? In preparation for this classic repairing, I guess, I went and read the issue 14 by Chris Claremont.
Really?
And John Byrne, yeah. It was okay. It was pretty good. You know, it had that.
Yeah, sometimes those old comics can be hit or miss. They can be like extra over the top cheesy, or
I couldn't believe like the amount of dialogue and exposition in that book. Like nobody would read that comic today. Like to read one page of that comic would be like 3 pages nowadays. So it's like
yeah, I know.
All the information. All right. So we start this issue off in, oh god, Yaozu prison on the island of Lu Shi, where Choshin, okay, just think about that. Yaozu, Lu Shi, and Choshin. Choshin is in a prison cell, still sore over being exposed for a traitor and losing his chance to reclaim Kunlun. He is talking shit to a guard, and they're going back and forth. And then Eel of Blessed Waters and Long-Armed Bull break through the wall to set Choshin free. Eel is reluctant to take out the guard because they grew up together, and he asks him to stand down, and the guard won't. And Eel, you know, puts him down real quick with his magical blue energy.
Yeah, his eel energy.
His eel energy is, I guess it's electricity because eels and all. Bull gives Choshin something. Oh no, wait, I skipped ahead a little bit. Oh yeah, Eel puts him down. Long-armed Bull finishes him. But I'm gonna call them Eel and Bull from here on out. Bull gives Choshin something that he asked for him to bring, and then Choshin turns around and chokes him out.
Yeah, what's he give him? Is it something wrapped in like a napkin?
And that's, yeah, something like wrapped in cloth or a napkin. And the weird part
I
is,
couldn't tell if it was that or a stone. I'm like, is he giving him a stone or is he giving him like a cloth?
I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like a cloth because it has those lines like it's wrapped up.
Yeah.
And we don't find out what it is. And you know, I've read all the previous 7 issues, and there's nothing in the past that tells us what it is. So I guess it's going to be a surprise to be named later.
Probably something that gives him more power or something like that, you know?
Yeah, something to give him a little edge and fight an Iron Fist because, you know, Danny kicked all their asses, so it's not like, you know, I mean, he's going to take an army to fight him. Just one dude.
Yeah, they're not just going to go there with the same group of people to fight him again the same way. No. They're going to need an upgrade somehow.
So, so Bull's laying on the floor, and he's like, no, Bull asks why Choshin. What the fuck did I write? Bull asks what? Oh yeah, Bull asks why, because Choshin takes him down, and Choshin tells him even though he aided in his escape, it doesn't redeem him, and he still failed him. So he still failed Lu Shi by falling too quickly to the Iron Fist, and then he crushes his windpipe and steals his chi, which is
Yeah.
which is kind of fucked up. Then he turns to Eel and asks if he's got a problem with this. Eel tells him, "Nah, I'm cool, man." And then they got to get going to the docks because the Rat of 12 Plagues and his men are waiting. These names, I love these names. It's
Yeah,
like
they are crazy.
they are crazy. This is like a full-on kung fu movie if you've ever seen a kung fu movie. Next, we meet up with Iron Fist on his way into his luxury apartment building. As he walks in and onto the elevator, we get his thoughts in narration, and he just walks us through everything he's been going through in the past 7 issues for the most part. So if you feel like the beginning paragraph wasn't enough, this will definitely help you put some of the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah, you
We
find out
also,
where he's been.
yeah, we also learn, the portal of Kunlun only opens every 10 years, but on Danny's recent travels, he found out the Book of Iron Fist has directions to some kind of back door, and that's one of the things when he went to that karate tournament. They wanted to kill him, take his chi. They wanted that book because all these people in Lu Shi are originally from Kunlun, and they want to get back. Which kind of reminds me of the plot of the Iron Fist TV show because that was the whole point of, well, the Defenders TV show, because the leaders of the Hand were all originally from Kunlun and they wanted to go home. So that's why, that show is okay. So he arrives on his floor, and as he gets off the elevator, we see a flash of light up his face, and then there's a reflection of fire in his eyes. And as we turn the page, we see that Danny has been keeping Shaolao the Undying in his apartment, which is kind of fucking crazy.
It is. He's talks about like his 60-centimeter thick glass to keep this thing in check and shit.
Yeah. It was fucking. I mean, no one's gonna notice that giant dragon. It's a weird looking dragon too, especially like in that first panel when it has the hiss on the top of the page.
Yeah, I don't know where the rest of its body's kept because it looks like its head is taking up the whole room.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It must be like one of those long snake dragons. Like it must not have legs.
So he's walking around. He comes in and he's talking to the dragon like someone would talk to their dog when you get in the house, and about what he uses to keep it locked away and how much it costs. Not to mention the food. It's poor food, which is a live cow.
It's like that scene in Jurassic Park.
It is with the what's the goat for?
Yep.
And we see the dragon blow fire on it and then eat it and chomp it down. And he tells the dragon it won't be much longer and he'll have him home soon. And then he opens the door to the dragon's room. But before he goes inside, he notices that there's a little cutout in the glass of the penthouse window. And someone broke in. And it should be impossible given the ridiculous amount of security measures he has. So he runs to the monitor room to check the security footage, and he notices that the Book of the Iron Fist is gone.
Okay, I didn't understand what happened there.
Yeah. So he's trying to see how someone got in, and he's looking at all the damage, and he doesn't see anybody, but then he sees that the book is gone, which is bad because that that's the whole thing. Shows him how to get to Kunlun, and he's fucked. So now we cut to later that night, and Danny walks into a bar, and he tells the bartender to give him a bottle of some good scotch, not the cheap shit, and tells the bartender to get his friend another of whatever he is drinking. And then there's a man there, and he says, "I ain't your friend." Spoiler alert, it's Sabretooth.
Yeah. His hand looks all fucking creepy as shit.
It does look creepy as shit. Mike Perkins is good with the creepy stuff. You don't see his face, but if the cover is any indication. But not only that, his hand with the nails and he's pretty much wearing the same clothes he wears in Weapon X, which is that jacket with the fur collar and his long hair. He never takes that jacket off.
He likes it.
So he tells him, "Ain't your friend?" And Danny says, "But we got history together," and he needs his help. And Sabretooth isn't hearing it, and he tells him it's not his problem. Danny tells him to look at the photo. And Creed, I'm going to call him Creed because I just didn't feel like saying Sabretooth too many syllables. So So he tells him after all the bullshit he put him through over the years, he can go fucking screw. And, Danny slaps the picture down in front of him and asks him, what do you see here? And Creed tells him he sees a spoiled rich douchebag that won't let him drink in peace. And then they trade a few more insults, and Danny grabs him and calls him a second-rate Wolverine wannabe. And they start fighting.
This goes on a while. They fight.
It does.
Fight a little bit. Sabretooth looks a little crazy in some of the panels.
He does. His nose.
Not like, like he looks like almost a witch in the one middle panel.
Yeah. The same thing, like a mature troll. Like,
yeah.
a witch troll.
Really off there.
So Danny asks him if he's sure he wants to fight because Creed always ends up getting his ass handed to him, and then Creed throws him through a window and jumps through after him. And Danny tells him just to look at the damn picture as the bartender yells about not having any insurance and to stop trashing the place. Danny throws a bunch of money at the bartender, and then he gets hit with a fucking pool table.
I know.
Which
I like that.
And he somehow survives. Like I know he's the.
Dude, I've moved a pool table once. I never want to do it ever again. It was the worst experience.
I mean, look, the pool table breaks in half over.
Yeah, it literally does. Must be a cheap one because that slate. I don't know. That slate stuff usually that makes up the actual playing surface of the pool table is the heaviest part of it all. It's so heavy.
Yeah, I mean, that should have fucking killed him, right? Like,
yeah, I swear to God, yeah, you get hit with that.
And then Creed turns around and tells the bartender he's gonna want to start a tab because they're not done wrecking the place yet, which is kind of funny. So then we take a break from the fight and we catch up with Cho Shin on his way to New York in an old ass pirate boat that looks like.
I didn't know if I'm like, is this back in ancient history? What are they doing? I know.
So he's on the old Asian kung fu pirate boat that pretty typical, and if you're in a movie or whatever, but you see it. But in the 1800s, maybe I don't know. These people live in the 1800s, though. They live in shacks on an island in the middle of nowhere. So I guess we can't be too surprised.
This is modern technology to them.
Yeah. So one of his men comes to tell him that they'll be there by morning, but there's also a problem. And he takes him over where the Rat of 12 Plagues is. And if you saw the Rat of 12 Plagues during the tournament, you will know that he's a disgusting-looking motherfucker. So
yeah.
They go over and they lift up the door where he is. And apparently he's been eating Cho Shin's men to sate his hunger. Like, what the fuck?
Is there only one dude there, or is there more than one? I can't tell.
Well, there's a bunch of dead guys. But, yeah, there's just one. There's the Rat of 12 Plagues, and then there's a bunch of dead bodies all around him that he's been eating on. And he's eating a dude's finger, it looks like, in one panel.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he's licking his fingers clean or eating another finger. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it is hard to tell. 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 digits, but it could be his thumb. Who knows? His nails are really long.
They're nasty.
He might be picking flesh out of his teeth. So Cho Shin scolds him and tells him he needs these men for war. Stop fucking eating them, asshole. But the rat tells him that he's hungry and the fish they've been giving him just isn't enough. So what the fuck? So
yeah,
he tells him it's really gross. So he tells him to chill the fuck out, start eating people, and then he tells the dude, his little lackey there, to tell the rest of the guys to stay the fuck away from the Rat of 12 Plagues because he's gonna fucking eat you.
Don't even entice him.
No. Ooh, you look appetizing. My nasal spray is wearing up. So we go back to Danny and Creed, and they're taking a quick breather. It looks like they both look like they get their asses kicked. And
he finally looks at the picture.
Yeah. So so Creed looks shocked and asks Danny where he got the pic, and Danny tells him it came from a security camera from his apartment, and it's the only image he managed to capture. And whoever broke in made it through Stark developed lasers and motion detectors and heat sensors and a fucking dragon, and this was the only image that he got, and it looks like a tail, kind of.
Yeah.
a snake tail or a scorpion tail.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was till I did some research on what it ends up being.
Yeah. And we'll get. I was gonna say, but I don't want to spoil anything. Not that anybody. He's not like a big villain, but he's the villain that people have seen in Avengers and whatnot. So Creed is in disbelief because the person it looks like should be dead. He watched them bury the body. Danny says whoever it was cut through 8 layers of adamantium to crack his safe. I as far as I knew, adamantium was this unbreakable, uncutting through metal. I mean, I think the only way you can cut through it with it is adamantium itself. So I don't know, but I guess we'll find out.
I don't know how. I know. We'll get to that in a second, but
yeah. So Creed agrees to help Danny, but he's not doing it for him. He's doing it to find out what the hell's going on, and he's gonna need a couple more drinks first. When I get cocked, which is kind of funny because when you think about a character like the Flash or Captain America in their accelerated metabolisms and or healing factors, they can't get drunk.
Yeah, so, I know. They must have to just drink bottles after bottles
constantly. Yeah, he must have to continuously drink to get a buzz and just continually drink. I mean, maybe that's why Logan was driving a beer 18-wheeler in Legacy, because he actually needs that much beer to get drunk. So, so they're cheersing it up, and they're both having their cocktails now while they're chilling. They're old fast friends. So now we're back at the docks, and Cho Shin is greeted by Li Wei, who welcomes him to New York. Cho Shin complains about the boat trip and the smell of New York. He says it smells like garbage and pollution, which is actually true. If you've ever been to New York, it smells like exhaust and garbage. So he asks Li Wei if the arrangements have been made and if the Book of the Iron Fist has been secured. Li Wei says yes, and then Cho Shin asks him who the man is in the ridiculous costume, and Li Wei introduces him to the Constrictor, and the Constrictor says he has business to discuss, and then it's a to be continued.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess the Constrictor, because I got him selected for the Marvelous Facts, has like adamantium tubes that come out of this costume. So, but I didn't know adamantium cuts adamantium. That's the only. I don't think that actually works out that way. It needs to be something different.
That's what I mean. That's like I'm just pulling it out from like a movie, I think, because like someone wanted to like cut Wolverine's head off or something, and they had an adamantium sword, because like the rules on that are unclear.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of a little bit of a nitpick, but yeah, Constrictor is the cliffhanger villain. So yeah, what'd you think? Buy, borrow, or forget as far as the issue goes?
So it was a decent issue. The art was pretty good, although the dark lighting and overuse of blacks took away from Mike Perkins' pencils a lot of the time. The fight between Creed and Danny was cool enough, and it makes sense given their history. I did feel like Xiao Lao living in Danny's apartment, while cool, was a little out of left field. Like, seeing that in the 7 prior issues, we got no mention of it. And as much as this is a long form story, I do feel like aside from the dragon, as much as it is a long form story, I do feel like the paragraph in the beginning and Danny's thoughts in the elevator kind of make it a little bit new reader friendly. But I mean,
I mean, I didn't read every all 7 of the issues leading up to this, and I literally had no questions. I knew who the guys were from the issues I did read, and like what was going on, so it wasn't a stretch for me. I'm not fully caught up.
Nah, it brings you right up to speed. Enough of this arc. I was talking to Aaron earlier, and he was telling me that what the hell did he say? He thought it wasn't a good jumping on point, and I was like, I don't know what you mean by that, because I had to take a look back at it after he said that, and I read the paragraph, and then I saw Danny's thoughts, and I'm like, it explains the previous 7 issues, even the little adventure he had with Shang-Chi. It explains. I was like, so you get everything you need to know.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I have a hard time just keeping straight all the different Asian names.
Yeah.
Especially when they can kind of be so similar sometimes. But I wasn't too lost. I guess you could. He has a little bit of a point. Like it's hard to connect the names in a paragraph to the actual photo of somebody in the comic book. But
especially when you got people
Other
like
than that, yeah, you kind of just got to roll with the punches, and you'll pick it up sooner or later. That's how I do it with all books.
When you got like the eel of living water or wherever the fuck, and the bull of arms and the rat of 12
One
plague,
of them
like come on,
off the board right away, so that helps. That makes it a little
that does
easier.
help. That does help. Li Wei, Choshin, Hong Kong, Fui, like whatever the fuck. But like I said, it was a decent issue, but not world shattering. I did like what I got, but I'm not sure I would tell someone to buy it with what we have right now, because it's an opening arc, so you know it's. I don't know where it's going to go, and I'm not exactly clear on how I feel about the story yet, so I'm going to have to give it a borrow.
I don't feel much different than you. I definitely think it's a borrow issue because I did have some problems with the way Sabretooth looked in certain panels. Like he looked a little weird, and the fighting was cool. Like all the transitions as far as fighting goes worked, but I also had a problem with a lot of the black used. Like some of the stuff was hard. It was just weird. I don't know.
Like when they were in that tournament,
I get it's all at night, but still.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, when in the beginning arcs when they were in that tournament, and you know, I mean, it was daytime, but even still, like the colors were were really bright and vibrant, and the art really like shined through, and it just doesn't here. Even there are even moments during the tournament where it's nighttime and the sky is like kind of purple and it lights everything else up around it, and it just looked a lot better. But here it just doesn't look
they're
good.
like using the colored sky for the shadow instead of just black for a shadow, and it just probably looked better. I really like the last page, like how the last page looks with the constrictor reveal. That's probably one of the best panels in the book. But yeah, like I wasn't just like what I felt like after reading it. I wasn't super pumped for the story to continue. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with it. I like Ed Brisson's writing and stuff. His dialogue's good and everything like that. But yeah, just not super super intriguing. But if it's a series you've been following, I think it's an issue you definitely enjoy, but not really for you know, as far as like a legacy relaunch, not really like new reader necessary.
No.
Definitely like an Iron Fisty Kung Fu type story, which is fine. And if that's what you're in line for, you'll like it. But yeah, I agree with you. Borrow, which we'll kick it off to the second legacy book of the night, which is Spirits of Vengeance. And this is going to be featuring kind of all the dark universe characters of Marvel. So you got a team of them, and they're going to all group together for a problem that we're going to get into here. Just trying to pull up the book here, stall a little bit. I got this new comic app that finally works with all my books. So it was like $2.99, but I had survey money for it, like these Google surveys they take. They give you like 10 cents each or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
It finally all stacked up for $2.99 to buy it. And yeah, I like it so far. It works nice. I just got all my books in one app now. But yeah, we're going to get into the creative team here. We're going to go over the blurb and let you guys know what we think about this bad boy. This is Spirit of Vengeance 1. Writer is Victor Gischler, and he is kind of definitely new to Marvel. He wrote a Boom Studios book before, like some Frankenstein type book, and he mostly does like crime novels. So this is his first go around at Marvel. He's paired up with David Baldean and Andreas Mosa as far as the art team goes, and then Virtual Calligraphy's Corey Pettit. It was driving me crazy. Like just one random day, I was on my break at work. I'm like, let me look up what this VC's comic book lettering stands for. And so, yeah, that's what VCs mean. If anyone else was curious,
I've always been curious. So.
Yeah, I had to know. I had to finally know what it stood for. A dead angel, a silver bullet, a kept promise. For ages, the war between heaven and hell rages in the unseen corners of society. Both sides in delicate balance that could topple if the right weapons were in the wrong hands. When an undercover angel is murdered, Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider, must find the killers and punish them. But this time he won't do it alone. Hellstorm, Santana, Blade, they are all spirits of vengeance. So yeah, we're going to meet most of that team here this first issue. And this all kicks off with Diner on Route 66. I forget what Route 66 runs through. What, the western kind of desert states?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I kind of
Dang.
forgot there. They just show you Route 66 in this diner.
Every time I see it in movies, people are like in Arizona, California,
Yeah.
Nevada,
Okay.
Utah, all
That's
that.
what I thought. But I'm really like a big idiot when it comes to geography sometimes when it's not in the northeast of the
Me too.
U.S.
my whole knowledge comes from movies when it comes to stuff like that. So
Yeah, me too. But anyway, we see this dude holding his gut walking up to the diner, and he enters as we see Johnny chit-chatting with the server. The server scares the shit out of me, sharing the facts he shares about coffee.
me too.
Because I drink plenty of fucking coffee.
First thing I thought was, is that true? Like,
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I'm just gonna chalk it up to comic book bullshit and move on with my day. But anyway, this blonde haired dude ends up sitting next to Johnny Blaze. Johnny's like, "Do I know you, pal?" And this guy hands a bullet. I don't know if he pulled it out of himself. It looks like he does.
it does look like it.
Hands his bloody bullet hand over to Johnny. He's like, "You need to get this to Damien Hellstorm." And before he vanishes into a fiery angel, gets that message to Johnny and explodes. So everyone in the diner is just kind of sitting there looking around like, what the fuck happened? Johnny just, like nothing really out of the ordinary occurred, takes the bullet, starts strolling out of the diner, hollers at the server like, "I'll see you later, buddy."
That
And
reminds me. That reminds me of. You ever watch that show Supernatural?
I've seen random episodes. It's not something I watch, though. Yeah.
When angels have these, they have these blades they call them angel blades, and they look silver, but they're not necessarily silver. But when they get stabbed with them and they die, the same exact things happen. They like explode into this light, and then it leaves like a
Angel,
ash.
like after, yeah, angel ash.
Yeah. It leaves like angel ash that's like stuck into the ground, so it's like an outline of their body with the wings. And then
Yeah,
someone made a
like you did
bullet out of it.
a snow angel and lit it on fire.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's kind of
Um,
cool.
yeah, Johnny walks outside. I didn't even notice it at first. I noticed it the second time that it was like an angel outline when I was
Me
flipping
too.
through the book.
Second time.
But yeah, Johnny walks outside ready to go handle his business, and he gets confronted by these two super trooper looking dudes. Got sinister looking smiles on their face, and they're telling Johnny to hand over what belongs to them. So we got to obviously assume they're talking about this bullet. They reveal their true form, which is a demon, just as Johnny reveals his true form, which is Ghost Rider. And they mix it up real quick, and they don't last very long. They get their well, not really neck slap. They just get chains around their necks and burnt to a crisp. And Ghost Rider looks a little goofy in that bottom panel, but that's really my only issue with the art. I really enjoyed the art in this book.
Me too. He did look goofy with the shoulders.
Yeah, like the spikes
weird.
are bigger than his head, and his head looks all skinny and weird.
I love that weird moment. I felt like if you ever watched like I don't know, if it's like Preacher or something, where he's like, got ourselves a because you know they're demons, and they're like, got ourselves a clever one, Roscoe. It's like more than this one meets the eye, Sheriff. Like it's just hilarious.
Yeah. They were creepy as hell. I'm like, oh, these guys are either just dirty cop scumbags, or yeah, they're definitely demons. So yeah, Johnny gets to Damien's pretty quickly. He's like flipping through this old school book. He points out the demons that attacked him. And Damien's like, they were just basically fetch and carry demons. They weren't any big deal, but obviously they were after something kind of important. But Damien can't tell him any more than that about this bullet. So they're going to go off to a different place to see what they can find out in the Bronx. This dude named Curtis. And he looks just like a Jabba the Hutt with human extremities instead of the snail body. They say he kind of used to be a big deal. Maybe like, I don't know, a universe elder or something before he was cursed to this existence of just eating chicken McNuggets off his belly. Or donuts. I think they bring him a dozen donuts. And they have him look at this bullet. He tells them that it's sending off like a powerful vibe and that a lot of old things from the past are returning, kind of being like very rebirth ominous about a message, but not giving you any more information than that, really. And he sends them to another place to see what they can find out there. And he says, go talk to the clucking hens on Wall Street.
Oh, I get it. Because you know what he says?
Did that mean something to you?
No, I was at the bottom panel when Damon Hellstorm says to Johnny, he's like, he's a deserter from history's oldest war, sentenced to the existence you've just seen. So it's like the war between heaven and hell. Like, maybe he's like a demon or an angel who was a deserter, and now he's relegated to being this fat, disgusting mess.
Forever on Earth, with no eyes. He's got no eyes either. I forgot to mention that. He can't see shit. Yeah, and they're not like he's not a nice looking person with no eyes. They're not closed. They're just empty canvases, empty holes in his face. But from Curtis's, Johnny and Damien leave there to go to Wall Street, and we check in on the big bads, I guess, of this issue, which are, I forget their names off the top of my head. It's Necrodamus, and is it Raza?
I think it's Raza.
Razan.
Oh yeah, Razan.
So they're chatting, and basically she updates Necrodamus and tells him that the demons didn't retrieve this bullet. I assume that's what they're talking about, because they're talking about trying to get back this silver.
Don't they look like Disney movie bad guys?
Yeah, they really do. She looks like the evil, like mirror on the wall chick.
Yeah, and he looks like the bad guy from Aladdin, like the face.
Yeah, the fire. Yeah, he really does. Looks like he just has the top hat that Jafar wears. He's not wearing, Yeah. But anyway, they're like over this. They look like they're making a witch's brew, appropriate for Halloween time. And they need this bullet, and they don't have time to waste. So instead of messing around with all these demons and sending demons after this bullet, the silver that they call it, he is sending Razan down there to retrieve it in haste. And he's going to send this hound with her to track this bullet down. And if you want to know what the Bloodhound looks like, you got to think like Ghostbusters 1, the dogs that were chasing Moranis. That's exactly what they look like.
Gozer.
Yeah, things used to creep the shit out of me when I was a little kid.
Me too. That fridge scene freaked me out so bad.
Yeah. Ghostbusters, I liked it, but yeah, it would kind of creep me out a little bit when I was little. We check back in with our hero team of Johnny and Damien. They arrive at what's called the Wall Street Club in the financial district, of course. And it's basically a restaurant, we find out, and it looks like it's kind of like magic people and anti-heroes that hang out there and chit-chat about shit. Well, they seem to all be freaked out by something because there's almost next to nobody here except for a couple stragglers that filled Johnny and Damien in on, again, like nothing really specific, just saying something's coming. Everyone got the hell out of town. They kind of ask why these people didn't, and they said there's really nowhere to run. I don't know where they think they're going. So we get the hint something big and bad is coming. Just not the hint of what yet. And again, still no answers about this bullet at all. No. And Damien decides to get on the time, try either a final lead, I guess. And I'm a little confused if you think it's going to be this last reveal or if it's going to be the person we haven't seen yet. They kind of leave it open.
I like the look on Johnny's face where he's like, maybe a light beer. And he's like, of course, sir. Just the look on his face, like the artistry is funny. Like he's so out of place.
I always like in comic books, I always like restaurants or bars that serve superhero people or magic people and just treat it like it's a regular bar and everything they see that goes down there is no big deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all normal.
Yeah, there's like some chick that looks all deformed and weird just sitting there sipping tea and like, just bullshitting and nobody has a problem with it,
Except for Johnny. He looks like he feels super out of place there.
Yeah, he's just like, I only got a leather jacket and a t-shirt on. I don't fit in here. But and he's also like a reluctant kind of demon type dude. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
not really something he likes to hang out in those circles of a lot of the times. He kind of gets sucked into things and is forced. But anyway, we see them leaving the Wall Street Club and Damien placing this call, who I think is to the cliffhanger reveal. But we check in on a bank robbery, and it's a blood bank in this case. So our robbers are going to be vampires. And they start taking off in this van, and we see this shadowy figure jump on top of the van, stab the driver straight through the chest, forcing this van to flip over. He pulls the other guy, there's 3 guys total, I believe, the other guy out of the van, chops his head off. So there's only one left, and grabs him by the throat as he's pleading for his life, while the narration is going of what seems to be a voicemail left on someone's cell phone. And our final reveal is Blade killing vampires, obviously. And it looks like Damien's calling him, or he's either calling his sister, who we didn't get any hints of in this book yet, but she's on the cover.
I think it's him because he's like, "It's me. You wouldn't have this number in the first place. It wasn't important. Beep's coming. Make it good." And it's just something I kind of feel like Blade, like cocky,
Blade would say. Like, yeah, you're probably right there. So yeah, we end the issue with Blade, and we'll have to wait next month to figure out if Blade accepts, the terms of their deal or whatever they're going to propose to him, and join the team here. But yeah, buy, borrow, or forget as far as Spirits of Vengeance #1 go. I don't know. I know the middle of the book kind of just did nothing for no reason, but between the art and the beginning, which really grabbed me, and the end, which I had a lot of fun with, I want to recommend a buy for this one, especially if you have any like nostalgia feels for Ghost Rider. I didn't expect to like this one really much at all, and I really did enjoy it. So I guess I'm coming from that aspect of it. You don't have to be confused about what's going on or who these people are. I feel like you get good introductions without it being blatantly obvious that they're introducing the characters to you. So I think it was done mildly well, but I was totally annoyed at the middle of the book where they're just kind of location hopping with no answers given to us other than hints of something bad happening. I can't stand when that goes down.
I felt like they were like the more, because that is like the 3rd time I've gone through the book, and I seem to like it more every time I go through it. And the middle part just feels like they're showing us the world that we're going to be traveling in. Like these are the freakish creatures that we're going to keep seeing as we get deeper and deeper into the story.
Yeah. Like you're.
Oh, it's breaking up. What happened?
You there?
What happened? Yeah, it broke up for a second. What happened?
Just edit that part out. Yeah. I was just saying, like they're not going to deal with any normal people at any part in this book. I don't think it's just going to be like straight up a demon warfare, and I'm down for that. And it's only 5 issues, I think, right?
Yeah, it's only 5 issues.
So they don't have a lot of time to meander, and it's going to get pretty much straight to the point, I think. So I think this will be fun to follow. It's not a huge investment you have to make. And the first issue was fun enough. So yeah, I'm going to rate it a buy. What do you think?
I mean, you know what? 5 issues, it's like $20. And if you get I used to get a 20% discount off my store, so it would be like $15 for the whole thing. So you're right, it's not really a huge investment for the whole thing. So, like I said, the more I went through this issue, like I read it the first time, I wasn't too crazy over it. The second time, I liked it, and then as we were going over it just now, I liked it even more. Like I just like it every time I read it. I find more and more things I like about it. I really like the art. I really like the detail. I love.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, like when they were in Damon Hellstorm's office and Johnny's sitting at his desk, like all the artifacts and books in the background, like you get a real clear vision of the world we're in, and it's like a part of the Marvel universe we haven't really seen in a long time, and we don't get to see often. And it felt
I think that's
refreshing.
why I liked it so much. Yeah, I think that's why I liked it in the end, because I really don't read. I haven't in all honesty, ever picked up a Ghost Rider book in my life. Like I flipped through some of them my buddies have had in the past and always been like, yeah, that's cool, but I've never bought one on my own.
Yeah,
But
and that's
this was, I mean, it was fun. Like, you know, I had no investment coming in and ended up liking it and looking forward to the next issue for sure. So
me too. It's a buy. It's a buy for me. I loved it. It made me go into my hard drive and grab all my my Ghost Rider files and throw them on my tablet because I'm like, okay, now I want to read Ghost Rider. So
yeah,
I want to get into this world more with because I love stories with like I'm a borderline atheist, but for some strange reason I'm obsessed with stories of angels and demons and stuff like that. But it's just I just love it. So
yeah,
like
it's a cool device to use to tell a story, definitely. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
even liked the new characters we were meeting. Like obviously I know a little about Blade solely from the
And
movies, you know what I'm saying? But like
that's
Damien Hellfire was pretty cool too.
yeah, Hellstorm. Like that's another thing is the Marvel premiere pages in the back. I felt like it was a good transition from the last page to that because I'm like, oh, cool. So just in case you don't know anything about these characters, now I get a little bit about Ghost Rider, a little bit about Blade. I didn't know that Damon Hellstorm was the son of Satan. I didn't know Satana was his sister, although I think she's just being created for this. I'm not sure, but but it was cool to get that information because I'm like, oh, nice. Now I get to know my characters after seeing this
Yeah.
story, and I'm like, this is.
I thought the premiere pages would be before the story started. Actually, it caught me off guard. They were at the end of the book.
Yeah, they're always going to be, but it would have been a little bit better in the beginning, actually.
Yeah, I
But
mean it's not a huge.
no,
I think they also do that because they don't want to
and
ruin the surprises of who's coming up in the story.
I like the
To
pencils
the
on the
very
last
end.
page. The pencils at the last page where it says next issue, and you could see the three of them, and they're looking and they're examining the bullet, so you know you're gonna get
Yeah,
like some answers. And I'm like, that is awesome. Like
yeah,
this is a pretty well done Marvel comic, I have to say. Like I
yeah.
enjoyed it.
This one was
I really
cool,
did enjoy it.
and it definitely, you know, it grabs your eye because it's one of the few legacy issues that's got a #1 on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Most
every other
definitely.
book, I got to think about what fucking number it's on, and I'm always off by one, and this or that. So yeah, it's just plain and simple. Spirits of Vengeance #1. I think we both said bye for that one. So yeah, we're gonna end book section #1 on a high note, and we will be back after this PSA with the midpoint marvelous facts.